Plot twist, working on Mustang, and then something magical happened. Look at it. So if you're like me and you own a Mustang with a live rear axle, which is basically prehistoric car technology, Ford took a very long time to get rid of the live axle. A lot of us were questioning this. We were like, why did they do this? Why didn't they just go IRS sooner? So in 2015, they brought in the IRS, but for everybody else, we were still like, well, we could do IRS conversions, but that takes way too much money and time. Instead, you can do something called a Watts link, and that's what we're doing today. A Watts link essentially tricks your car into feeling more like IRS, but more importantly so, it keeps your center differential center. It doesn't go left or right, it doesn't move around. Essentially, it locks everything in place, and it keeps all your contact patches with your tires and your suspension and all that good stuff in line. The Watts link has two rods connecting to your differential. You're gonna need to change your differential cover, and then you bolt it all together. It's really clever of an idea, and it's really cool. I wanna give a huge shout out to Ronnie, who sent me this white line Watts link. It is super cool. We are gonna make Smurf handle more. The last time we did stuff with Smurf with suspension was Ceta sway bars, and we're gonna see if we can keep those with the Watts link. I think we can, but we are gonna probably have to remove the normal panhard bar, which is kind of a more simplistic way to keep your diff centered when you do lowering springs. But the Watts link is just an absolute beast, so let's take a look. So when you look at the Watts link, you have these basically two rods. This is your new diff cover, and they connect to this centerpiece, which is really sweet. This is an anti-hot brace that basically helps the Watts link out too. It basically keeps your center diff all good too. But this is the primary stuff we're doing today. George is smiling because he's like, oh no, excited, great, yeah. So excited. George from GMG Automotive is gonna show us how to do all this because he'll do it way faster than me, and I'm okay with that.
Well, obviously, first we're going to start with doing the diff and stuff like that. But this brace basically, let me get a light so I can show you.
Yeah.
This diff goes up here in the top. Brace up there is what we're doing basically, you know?
Yeah. You can't really see it, but it's this guy. So lovely. Some people even go as far as dropping the gas tank.
Yeah. I guess that's the main thing with something like that. Because that goes to the body, and then this connects to the diff. So I guess it keeps the, you know, whenever the pinion goes up from acceleration, it eliminates
a much bigger bushing right here.
Yeah.
First things first, panhard bar, yes. Which is basically a really ghetto Watts link.
Not ghetto. It's an in-between mod between stock and awesome.
Yeah, because you have to have that to do lowering springs.
I didn't even know it was adjustable.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So I called George, and I go, hey George, I know you love suspension stuff. You want to do a Watts link? And your reply was, what in tarnation is a Watts link?
Oh, now you're making me sound real redneck.
We're in the land of y'all.
Yeah, that's true. I don't remember we were just talking about that earlier.
Yeah, you go to LA,
California.
You go to California, like, what are you saying?
Ooh, a lot of dirt too.
Oh, it's old. I did that in a driveway with a friend back in the day. First ever car review above 500 horsepower with the dude who helped me. His name was Brett.
Really?
Yeah. He had a Helion turbo. Oh, wow. Yeah. If you guys don't know, George is the king of just like weird, cool stuff for working on cars, like a magnetic light. Those things are so cool.
You can get all kinds of angles with it, you know?
Angles on angles. Everything. I wish I invented that. Next step is, after taking out the panhard bar, whether it's stock or aftermarket, is this guy up here. So we have this area going all the way up there. It's a weird part because it's just kind of there.
And it doesn't say pull it out.
It doesn't seem to do anything.
Yeah. It doesn't say to pull it out, but I feel like it's going to be in the way, especially for when we do the mount and stuff like that. So we're going to pull it out. It's pretty gross. Shout out to anybody who remembers this video from 2013 when I put these in. So we have these SVE lower control arms. Next step, take off factory diff cover because it's ugly. It is really ugly.
It's like instead of Crayola red, it's like the cheap Rose Art red. It's disgusting.
Rose Art was always like the worst brand. I always felt bad if somebody, it's like, no, when you ask for a pencil in class, and you're like, not a Rose Art pencil. Diff fluid smells awful. Okay, moment of truth, here we go.
This is the part I hate.
Yeah. I'm bleeding.
I learned this the hard way. Always leave that top bolt in.
Oh, it just dropped in?
So
or?
when you pry it out, it's not falling in your face and splashing on you because you got that one bolt holding it up there.
Oh no. Alright, so this is a good opportunity for people who've never seen the rear end of a Mustang, but... Oh, I don't care about Mustangs, they're dumb. Then why are you on this video? Really? This is what the limited slip looks like in a Mustang. Okay. And essentially what happened to me one time is, after hundreds of launches later from my YouTube channel, one of these basically started shredding and it started making this howl noise. So I got a new one in here. This is a 373 gear.
Now it's locked, going forward. Good burnouts in the air.
Essentially what George is doing, he's taking the gasket material off to have basically a clean slate, and then we can seal it up ourselves. If I worked at a shop as a mechanic, my mechanical skill would be involving applying RTV and spray painting valve covers.
And spraying brake cleaner on stuff.
And spraying brake cleaner. David! Dad!
There's some oil.
Get your little hands over here! Alan knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, on the spot, dude. Basically, this all attaches together, and this will go on top of the diff cover to create the spider-like traits of a Watts link. Before you put the diff cover on, you're gonna wanna thread these guys in reverse, essentially, going this way.
Yep, they thread
And
to the
then
housing and then they
thread
create
come
studs
out.
on the backside.
And then we can bolt on the spider to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've threaded them out this time, we're good to go.
Yes.
Last time we just forgot, and that's okay, things happen.
Nobody's perfect.
No, yeah, especially when working on a car.
Yes.
Okay, so we both thought this was very low, but the instructions say you do these at 20 foot-pounds in a star pattern.
Yes.
Actually comes separated, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is a completely separate piece. We lubed it and slid it onto the main shaft, which is inside.
And then you take lubricant, go crazy with it. It
Yes.
even says in the instructions, like, literally just go crazy with
a
it.
liberal amount.
A liberal amount.
60 foot-pounds and then 40 foot-pounds.
So now we get to do the really cool stuff, which is applying the bracket on top of the diff cover, and then we get to see how the Watts link actually works, essentially, to keep the diff centered as you go around a corner, and it's not going like this or going like this. Sweet, so here is the bracket. It's like this Spider-Man logo looking thing. It's gonna extend this way, and then extend that way.
And
Alan on the Project Car Challenge trip learned firsthand about my asthma because I have this spacer in between my Symbicort medicine, which clears out my lungs and stuff, and it has a reed in it to let you know you're inhaling it right. So it goes, ah! And freaking, I warned Alan about this, and he still laughs at me for my condition.
Every time he blows it, I'm like,
The beauty of very long extensions, man.
right?
So basically using where this sway bar end link is, we took off this bolt right here and we utilized the same location. Plot twist, working on Mustang, and then something magical happened. We got a donk. We got a donk. No lie though, donks are actually really big in Atlanta, and the owner's name, what was it, KJ? Yeah. KJ, if you're watching, your car is freaking beautiful. Shout out to Street Whips, because wow, they don't mess around.
hell
No, dude. Look at this interior.
Pretty good. Every time. They didn't know we're dog central, okay?
Look at it. No, like the chrome on the front is so well done that I can see myself perfectly. Like, hello. That's amazing.
It'd be easy to clean the bugs off and all too. Right?
Oh, I know, you wouldn't know. But look, he didn't cheapen out at all. I mean, he's got Willwood brakes, drilled and slotted rotors. Okay, so now you can kind of see how it's starting to come together. Put this sucker on after putting this in. This actually gave us a little bit of problems, this center bolt. That's why I was, you know, focused on the donk. And the bracket that we need that crazy extension for. And then it comes back.
Long sleeve and the twin spacers.
Okay.
So it's gonna go here for that.
Alan actually has that dude in blue just in. We have to take the sway bar off and we forgot to do that, so. Gotta do things in reverse. But no, this time we did read the directions. It's just I already had a sway bar there. And then we're like, oh, we can make it work with it already being there. And
we were trying to be hopeful.
Hopeful.
And we're gonna pull it off and try to see if we can make it work.
Make it work.
It's gonna
but to be fair, if I did have to sacrifice a rear sway bar for a Watts link, I would do it in a heartbeat. Like, not even a contest. We cut these at an angle, apparently for a sway bar system, but we're just not
apparently
quite
not
sure.
your sway bar system.
No.
But we are not losers, so I think we can make this work. Losers don't give up,
World
David.
needs a hero.
Losers don't ever give up. Okay, so I think that if we clear this a little bit off that, if you're okay with that,
Let's just cut it, yeah. Forget about it. We don't want to cut this because we will cut into the weld and that just, say that out loud.
It's gonna weaken it.
Yeah, cut into the weld. No, don't cut into the weld.
No, don't cut into the weld.
Yeah.
If we did cut into the weld, it would make it weaker, which makes it absolutely...
No. I do want to give a shout out to Steeda because Steeda actually did really help me out with that sway bar back when we put it on. So nothing personal. I'm going to help make it work with Mr. George another day. But for now, we're going to make sure to get this installed. So now we're putting this guy on.
I think it's called a diff brace. That's what he calls it.
The diff brace.
Yes.
Or as Roush calls it, a wheel hop reduction kit. So it's not that this is difficult in concept, it's just very awkward.
It is.
You have to get this one, this right here doesn't want to come out, and then up front. Alan, I have a question for you.
What?
Who loves our soda?
Well, I don't know. I'm a big fan of making America grape again.
You don't get the reference, I'm sorry. You never watched Keenan and Kel?
Oh.
Come on!
Nickelodeon.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
Providing adequate enough height to remove your wheels and tires. Trackside.
Did you just patent the Mustang kickstand?
Yes, I did.
Dude, when you were a little kid, wasn't it so great when you pull up to your friend's house? You felt such a badass when you went like this. You're like, yeah, dude.
Sick.
This just in, we have to lower the Mustang so I can get inside to take off a rear seat cushion because they bolted it in from the top. The jack is holding up the rear diff so I can't lower the car on the lift.
Oh God.
I forgot how.
David, did you make it up there?
I did. I'm alive. Okay. Fire in the hole.
Here's David pulling his seats out.
There's seat covers. I did all the foam.
Up 12 feet in the air.
Yeah. Now, the reason is we couldn't get it from the bottom is because from the top, and here it is. So to do an anti-hot brace, you gotta go from the top.
Hold it down.
It's not coming off. I've had to be like rowing the boat up here. You think I'm proud of my little chicken arms though, man? Putting my whole body in.
Yeah, but you got good equipment, right? And a long ratchet handle.
I'm used to jack handles, so I'm like, wow, David could do it and then Pat couldn't. So after a really intense workout, this is the difference that I'm actually glad we did all this work for because it is insane. Here, George, look at this.
Okay, can you see the old crusty with the ginormous bushing wore out, and the new hotness. With
That's
the small,
legit.
that's an almost solid bushing. That's pretty awesome.
Here's the old bolt that had Loctite on it, so big guy. Here's the robot under Smurf. So this goes over here. This, oh, I hit my microphone. This kind of reinforces with this bracket. Then this guy on the top goes to this area. That's how they connect. Unfortunately, I have to sacrifice my rear sway bar right now because it works with a stock sway bar and probably a different brand sway bar, but not the Steeda one I had. So that's okay. The Watts link is legit, and we're gonna let the RTV dry all night, fill up the diff with some fluid, and then we're good. I want to give a huge thanks to GMG Automotive today. It was freaking awesome. And also, if you guys wanted to find out how we fixed the taillight problem, here's that clip. Remember, the last video I tried to figure out on my own, and it did not work out. So my buddy George over here tirelessly helped me out. So we're gonna see exactly what was wrong with it in the first place. And funny enough, it was a short, just in a place I wasn't expecting.
Me and him went at it, and basically, I want to say we started out kind of where you left off with eliminating it individually, but we didn't eliminate what we didn't think it was. So we figured out, we're like, okay, well, we're wasting a lot of time. We went after the circuit board because we knew there was a lot of issues with the main motherboard. Actually, I have it. Let me see if I can grab it for you real quick.
Quick recap, what was wrong with it was that the eyebrows in the front would not come on and the running taillights wouldn't come on. So driving at night, my headlights would work, but the running lights in the back were completely out. So I was completely clueless on what to do, and it sucked.
Everything is through this main circuit board. You kind of got to start with that too if you don't absolutely 100% know. So we started with the circuit board, got the new one from Ford. Luckily, my buddy that works there was able to hook us up, get it fast in your time frame. Got the new circuit board put in because there's a whole motherboard back here. Put it in, and then we were able to diagnose it from there correctly as far as tracing it down. So like you said, you know how you were doing, you have to go. Dave would stay in there, probe it. I would go and unplug each thing. Literally, we would probe each thing until we got any kind of like resistance that would fluctuate up or down. Went after it like that, did everything you did. We were unplugging this and this.
Yeah,
and
dude,
this,
it's
like,
so frustrating. It's like, why isn't it
everything.
working?
That's how it is. It's process elimination. You know, you have to have, it's a two-person team. You have to have somebody probing. Intercooler pipes in there, you blow valves loose. I start touching Dave's like, that's it. So lift it up, pull the fender liner out, pull the wheel off, look in there, see the blow-off valve, the filter was just slapping against it, rubbing on the back of it. So that was our short. We went there, and I think that the elimination process of everything and then the short with that, you know, is what messed up the high beams. But
put the fuse in the fuse box, right? And if the lights are working at all, you're like, oh, okay, they're coming on, but what's blowing them out? But you don't think that the circuit box itself is messed up.
Well, it had gotten so bad when we were going through all the wiring that it was blowing fuses, putting them in. Like immediately, just popping the fuse immediately. So that's why Dave's like,
well,
just put a new board on it, and then we'll go from there. That way we can eliminate the largest control unit of everything in that circuit and be done with it. So,
oh my goodness,
you'd had two little strands of wires that would just arc out. That's it.
Oh, because they were just apart, or
no? Like the sheathing had basically been rubbed through on the backside
because of the blow-off valve.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And it was the metal that's in the filter was just shorting it out.
And that's it. Thank you all so much for watching this Watts Leak install. See you guys next time. New uploads every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And I'll see you guys. Goodbye.